Hey guys, we got Garrett Goodwin here, drummer for Carrie Underwood. What are you teaching us today, man?
Shaker grooves.
All day.
All day.
All day. So
Yeah.
how are we going to break this down? I mean, I guess at home, get your shaker ready. You better have a shaker or we're in trouble.
That's right.
Otherwise, you're swinging your hand in the air like a crazy person.
Yeah.
But man, okay, let's start by talking about how this is practical. When did you first put a shaker in your hand and play drums with it?
A lot of things, you're always playing the kit, you're always doing this, but then you come across situations or gigs where they want you to break it down.
Right.
They want you to have a smaller kit, or and you kind of have to think differently. For the same song you always play, but now you have to break it down and think completely different, and maybe use smaller drums, smaller cymbals, shakers, different things like that, just to change it up, to make it feel a little more organic.
Yeah. Dude, this is very cool, and I love that, I mean, especially in the intro there, you're adding a bunch of different stuff. We're adding subtle nuances of ghost notes,
Yeah.
and then little hi-hat stuff, so why don't you play us a really basic groove? And, I mean, in the practice video, too, we'll spend more time so that you guys get to actually practice along with this, step by step.
Absolutely.
So why don't you start by just giving us kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4,
Okay.
and that shaker.
Cool. Perfect.
Cool, man. I think you should keep going because now you're starting to introduce some of that stuff. So
Yeah.
what else would you add to it? You'd add just some ghost notes, and then you're also doing some hi-hat stuff,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I mean, I'll try a couple different things and add in a couple other things to give it a little more life.
Give it some life, baby. Amazing, man. So, okay, when you're working on something like this, how are you practicing it? Because a shaker, you can kind of practice slow,
Yeah.
but it's a little bit of gravity too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you have your momentum. It's completely different. So
Yeah.
as far as a slow tempo, it's a little more tricky to do. But yeah, so again, it depends on the song. It depends on where you're headed with it. If it's too slow, you might want to stay away and just do some hi-hat stuff, use some brushes,
Right.
different things like that. Again, it's whatever the song calls for.
Why don't you start by showing us how to play the shaker too? That might be a good start.
Well, you know what? What's ever comfortable for you is how you play
Right.
it. And obviously there's eggs, there's bigger
Right,
shakers,
yeah.
and you kind of figure out how it works for you, the motion for you, Percussion stuff is a tricky thing, tambourines,
Right.
shakers,
right.
it's a whole different world because it just even how you hold it, the placement, all that. And so it's again, like everything, what feels right for you.
Yeah.
But different weights in different shakers, you might play a little different or hold a little different,
Yeah.
or use your whole arm or your wrist, and I know I've said it 4 times now, but whatever works for you is the biggest thing. So
Yeah, let's just quickly talk about, even with your thumb,
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to feel for a balance point between your fingers a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's see. So there's going to be certain things where you're going to want that. You don't want the accents. You can hear the accents in here. But there's going to be certain things, certain songs where you're going to want them. And that is, it's all weight. It's all figuring out where it hits and the forward and backward motion. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's not as simple once you try to do it.
The thing, man, I think a lot of guys, with drums in general, I feel like because we think we can do certain things, we can do everything on the drums.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, if I can play hi-hat, then I can play shaker.
For sure.
But it's like, man, it's such a different motion.
A whole different thing.
So would you spend a lot of time, I know some guys, actually, Ben Satterley, one of our other instructors, would drive around in his car with a shaker.
That's awesome.
Drive
man.
around, right? With
That's
his other
awesome.
hand, just practicing.
I like that. That's what I'm going to start doing now.
There you go, man.
I like
Ben, look at you, man, being all influential right here. But what about you, man? Like, would you just practice along the songs, or would you right away just incorporate it into the kit, into grooves?
Yeah, practice along with songs. Again, I can't stress enough. metronome tempo.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
sitting with a click and just playing that groove, or also, you know, incorporating it with the kit. You know, start adding in just a kick drum and a shaker, and then add in that other hand. And you know, there's going to be certain parts of a song where maybe for the whole first half of the song it's more broken down and more organic, but then, you know, halfway through it kind of breaks into a bigger feeling song. So for me, I'm not the most coordinated when it comes to, you know, different things. So for me, I found that this works for me, and it looks like a mess right here. But, you know, you're playing a groove right into that.
Wow,
you know, you're
cool.
on the ride all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And you just kind of drop it and let it go. So
And you just hope if you need it later, you can find it.
I hope if I need it later, I can find it. That's exactly.
Do you have
right.
a couple, like, what other percussion things are you using on your drum set? So we've got a shaker. Is that mostly, like, you just have a couple shakers? Or?
Yeah, a couple different shakers, obviously for different things. Tambourines sometimes. You know, we've done a couple Aerosmith covers, so I've had a cowbell in there a little bit.
Dude. Nothing like a cowbell, man.
No. Those are worlds that I haven't explored too much on, but I've kind of had to.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun.
Dude, why don't you play us another example of this groove? Just one more, and then we'll pretty much ready to wrap this lesson up. But another example of a groove with some more ghost notes, and try and repeat it a couple times, same consistent pattern, so that I can chart it out for us, make it nice and easy, and we can talk about it a little bit quickly.
All right. Same tempo, same.
Yeah, it's just same vibe.
So you could do, you know.
Amazing, man. There's so many options in there. One more groove, play us out, and add in some of the hi-hat stuff.
Cool, perfect.